Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're joining us today. Today, once again, we have brought a very important and relevant topic for the discussion, which is the new Silk Road data, drones, and diplomacy for in the context of today's era. We certainly, if we compare ourselves historically back in the imperial age where we used to establish the facts in the context of 3G, which is gold, glory, and guns. So we have taken a leaps and bounds development, and today, in the context of technological evolution, we are talking about quantum resulting into a revolutionary development in each and every aspect of our lives. And today, we will have a deeper discussion in all of these aspects that how it is impacting our geopolitical landscape and what is correlation for this technological evolution in the context of regional developments and for the future foreign policies. So today I'm joined with a once again, very heavy weight champions or industry thought leaders in their own areas, which I'll start requesting my guests to please introduce yourself by starting from Dr. Alim sir. If you could kindly introduce yourself, please.
Mr. Ahmad, and I'm really grateful to be invited for such an important opportunity to talk on a very important topic. My name is Muhmmad Alim. I'm a PhD in cybersecurity and having over 23 years of experience in research and development. Especially, I've been with academia as well. I was part of Concerts University Islamabad for around 9 years, and I was serving there as tenured professor of cybersecurity till the time we founded this company Cytomate. So I'm the co-founder of the company and also serving as the chief technology officer of Cytomate. It is a cyber automation company. It is based in Doha, Qatar. And my other co-founder of the company is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Ahmad Ali. And we have few products on cybersecurity, especially on breach and attack simulation, cyber deception, and attack surface management. Welcome to this panel discussion, and thank you once again.
Thank you very much, and a very warm welcome once again, Dr. Alim, and looking forward for more engaging and insightful inputs from your side. So next, now I'll invite my next guest to kindly introduce yourself. If Muhammad Ovais.
Thank you very much, Dr. This session. My name is Muhammad Ovais. I am an assurance and IT audit partner at Ovais Mazars, Qatar. Actually, we provide IT audits and IT and digital consulting services, and looking forward for this session, inshallah.
Thank you very much, and thank you so much for your time taken up today to contribute into this insightful session, and certainly we'll be learning a lot from you, from your experience. Now at the end, I will request Mr. Ghulam Shabbir sir to kindly introduce yourself, please.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. This is Ghulam Shabbir, and it's been 25 years altogether in the industry on the side of practice. It started off from marketing management, brand management, and business development, and now from last 1.5 decade, it is all about policy, public policy design, policy analysis, digital governance, and governance reforms, with a concentrated interest, especially in the area of adoption of emerging technologies, which includes these days AI, as well as other emerging technologies like quantum and nanotechs and composites. So it's all about that's all about it, and altogether it's a journey filled with a lot of learning and a lot of interaction onto forums like this one. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, once again for joining and accepting our invitation. So now, without any further ado, we'll start our session that we will be looking into the historical developments from 3G to 3D, the 3G of imperial age to the 3D of the AI era, where we were been impacted by the rapid technological evolution in each and every aspect of our life, including the way we educate our kids, the way we interact with each other, the way we fight the wars or battles have been fought, and so forth. So without any further ado, I'll ask my first question to Dr. Alam, that how would you like to paint AI technological evolution today?
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ovais, for this question. Actually, if we see the big picture and the new Silk Road in the MENA context, my key message or my key understanding is that the new Silk Road is no longer east to west only. The MENA region is becoming the center of gravity, like linking the GCC capital and the market, Central Asian energy and South Asian talent ecosystem at the new Silk Road that you actually referred from Doha, Riyadh, or Dubai. We are not just seeing trade routes actually. So we are seeking knowledge and capability corridors, fiber, logistics, hubs, free zones, cloud regions, and research universities are forming a triangle of cooperation between MENA, Central Asia, and especially I'll talk about Pakistan actually. And the technology stack that you are referring to does not only include the AI clusters, but also very soon you will be seeing the development of GPUs as well in this region actually. So this region is not going to be just the consumer of the technology. Very soon they will be producers as well. So they will try to overcome the limitations that they had in the past. Okay, and this is all possible because I want to give you some examples. So like, for example, if you see from Qatar's digital free zones and the AI clusters, if you see KSA, they have a vision of 2030, especially NEOM, and also the Riyadh AI city. UAE also as a global talent magnet, and Pakistan, especially Pakistan. This is providing a lot of cybersecurity and AI workforce pipelines actually. So what I'm trying to say that if you see the technological stack, the GPUs and the AI workforce, they are actually combining together, and they will be the main forefront in the region that we are sitting in. So that's actually the whole picture that I would like to paint before starting this conversation.
Thank you so much for drawing the picture in the context of the new Silk Road, though. But in the context of the global technology landscape, how do you see global tech giants' contribution into the development of this regional tech hubs?
Actually, like if we talk about the global players, like everyone knows, China and US, they are leading from the front. So Chinese, if we talk about Chinese, they are building smart cities. They are working on 5G, 6G networks. And if we talk about US, they are working on open internet, AI solutions, AI applications. So if they are going to lead it, but what if we talk about our region, especially from the South Asian and the Middle East, so like Middle East is growing up right now. If we talk about KSA, as Mr. Alam said, and Qatar is also heavily investing in it because the data and infrastructure and all. It's no more port and deserts and all. So like we have to have our own data centers. This is the new investment. Every country have to look at it. So if we talk about our sovereignty and Silk Road, so we have to contribute in that way.
Right. Thank you so much. Ghulam Shabbir Sahab, your views, if you would like to add on painting the global tech landscape.
Yes, Ahmad, while building on to whatever my colleagues have initially mentioned, and rightfully so, they have actually set the tone for our conversation today. So, yes, this is fundamentally a question of now or never kind of a situation altogether, in terms of putting in place the desirable technological levers. In all their capacity, as well as in all their overall like contribution to the foreseen developments across this region, especially. I would like to touch upon the important element that you have just raised, and that is the role of the private providers. Certainly, private providers are actually at the center stage of propelling this entire wave of development altogether, because yes, they have been able to introduce cutting edge innovations, as well as cutting edge breakthroughs in terms of the computational power, the consolidation of the computational power, as well as aligning the overall technological stack from various perspectives, right away from redefining the technology as well as the capabilities that the technology can actually showcase, to then putting in place wider usages of those capabilities across various industries, and the central role of those technological developments into the economic development, as well as growth and stability of the nations altogether. So if we look at the most recent visit into the MENA region that was extended by the President Trump. So if we look at the composition of the entire convoy, or the entire, the entire group of people who were actually surrounding President Trump. So these technological companies and their representatives, they were really at the forefront, and they were actually kept at the forefront altogether. And there is a very careful analysis by defense experts that the private companies or the private technology providers, they are actually being given a center stage even within the organizations, like for example this American CENTCOM, as well as Pentagon, in terms of helping them to polish their thought, or to nurture their thought, and to bring in a next level of integration of the development which they have already seen, and the kind of development they want to impart to the strengthen the American sovereignty altogether. So and China is visibly on the similar kind of a path, but with its own consolidation or reconsolidation model for all these developments, which China has actually been able to bring on board. So yes, this is certainly a path forward where private providers are really, really working. And there is a lot of traction onto the work that has been, actually gained by these private providers. And not only in terms of the technological breakthroughs, but also in terms of the economic sovereignty and strengthening of the entire, economic development streams. I mean, you see the how stock exchanges have been behaving with every, breakthrough in AI that has been introduced over the last 1 year or so. So that's how it is. I mean, yeah, that's how they are shaping it up altogether. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Mr. Ahmed, I want to actually, because I mean, if you allow me, there was another part of your question that I realized actually that we should answer. That was on the
sure.
technological stack as well. So if you allow me, I want to
Yeah,
actually
but
cover.
if you kindly allow me, I'm coming on that just to link that discussion what has been said
Please,
with
please take.
that current technological stacks, because there is a certain element of what Mr. Ghulam Shabbir Saab has helped me drawing the bigger picture, where there is a geopolitical aspect as well, because globally it has been realized that the future is future of futuristic technologies, including AI, quantum, and robotics, drones, and all that. And this is what we're going to be touching upon in just in a while. But being that said, it has been realized globally that there is a serious need of skilled manpower in the global north, which has been imported from the global south. And the global south has been now taken a lead by GCC countries in terms of investing and developing the technology hubs and becoming a center of global attention. And that is why this whole picture has been painted. That why we need to discuss that the current and the future of these technology hubs. And coming back to that, Dr. Saab, your point is that in terms of developing the technology hubs in this region, connecting all Doha with Kuwait City and with Dubai, there is a big contribution and involvement of global tech giants, which includes Microsoft, which includes the Open AI, which includes all that NVIDIA chips and all that. And there is a role which has been played by the China as well, in order to develop or extend their support and hand in developing these things. So the tech stack will have the elements which are coming from the current and the future superpowers as well, and there will be aspect of national sovereignty. So I'll leave the floor to you, just to connect that our discussion with the tech hub or tech stack and the future implications for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. So as now we have a very clear picture. Thank you so much. I mean, giving me the opportunity to talk about the technological stack. So first of all, I want to cover the conceptual overview of this whole AI era that has started, and it is not yet the peak. Actually, the peak is very joint in terms of the technological revolution. So first of all, I mean, if we see, there are five layers. The first layer is the compute layer, which has chips, GPUs, TPUs, and even having accelerated compute infrastructure. The second layer is actually the foundation software and framework. So like deep learning framework, distributed training systems, they are part of this second layer. The model layer, which includes the foundation model, and I would say the most credit goes to OpenAI for having this revolution started. So like it includes LLMs, vision models, or even multimodal models as well. And I want to say that uh, already, not the efforts have been started to outdate the cloud infrastructure as well. So like while we are working on the cloud data centers, there are efforts in the industry which have been started to introduce edge AI as well. So models, which are not very big models, they are having quantized models as well. So like you can have, for example, 2 billion model or 3 billion LLM model that can be running on a small device as well. So just imagine that a security camera is not connected to the cloud, but it has its uh, LLM, which is already built on the chip actually, and it is using very low energy. That's why it's called edge AI as well. So my point is that while we are working on the data centers, but there are efforts to make the edge AI as well into the market, which is going to affect the adoption of data center or data centric oriented computation as well. Then on the fourth layer, we have data and training pipeline layer, which has data harvesting, labeling, synthetic data generation. And we do have application and deployment layer like the APIs, enterprise system, edge devices, policy layers as well. Okay. And it is very important, like we started this discussion that in this era of AI, there are two big giants. One is the US, okay, and the second is the China, and both are actually in a race to control uh, all these layers actually. So the battle is not actually the main battleground for the US and for the China. And you will see, for example, that there are companies which are working in the compute layer, like for example, NVIDIA GPU or the Google TPU or AMD. This is from the US side, okay, in the foundation layer as well, in the model layer as well. And China is also not stopping on all these layers actually. So they are not coming slow. They have their own GPUs as well. And what I wanted to mention that this region, the MENA region, is also going to be a beneficiary of the battle between China and US, as well as they are also on the road to develop their own ecosystem as well. So, I mean, they can also be contributing on these five layers. So, I hope I was able to give a glimpse that what actually is going from the technological point of view, Mr. Ahmad.
Very comprehensively, and thank you so much for drawing or highlighting the key points and the layers about the tech stack. Now coming to Ovais Sub is that, I mean, as Dr. Sub has said, like about these five layers about the tech, the stack, where all the two superpowers are in a competition to take a lead on. And then, for this region, as we know that this region is in the need of skilled manpower, which has been imported from outside. It's this tech hubs would require the chips to be imported from outside as well. So, what would be the criteria for them, for GCC and KS countries or KSA, let's suppose UAE, to decide that which superpower to involve more? Is it only the cost factor, or their efficiency, or any other aspects you could foresee?
Uh, if you talk about the reliance purpose, of course, none of the countries can rely only on the single system or the country's technologies. I give you an example. For example, if any country, they are heavily relying on the US or the China's ecosystems, ultimately at the end of the day, the whole control will be in their hand, right? So I would suggest that countries, they should go ahead with their own data centers, at least their main database, for example the health database and some critical personal information, like in Pakistan if we talk about Nadra. So these types of personal information, at least they should have a control on their hands. If we totally rely only on these heavyweights, ultimately at the end of the day there will be an interference on many angles. Not only on economical part. If you talk about politics, everywhere. So we can't only rely on any single country.
Certainly, certainly, and very importantly, like in the context of national sovereignty, this is the element
Yes.
of where you are deciding your national future in the hands of some superpower, which is quite risky.
Yes.
Ghulam Jabir Sab, how do you uh, foresee this current situation, which has been said?
Okay, so while taking the foundational conversation that we are having on this particular aspect, I would start from one analytical idea, and that is Ahmad and my fellow colleagues, that this world is passing through once in a century kind of a power shift altogether, right? And it is actually foreseeable from the posture of the existing, world powers, that the era of, superpower is gone now. All right. So it is altogether and endeavoring about, coexistence in the realm of the respective powers. And that is what has been signaled by China very, very strongly in the most recent, summit between the President Trump and the President Xi altogether, right? So, however, having said that, it I mean only the time will tell us that how does this thinking of China manifests into drawing an overall balance of power, as well as coexistence of various powers within the two hemispheres of this globe altogether. So, and then there are other elements as well, but since it is not about international relations, it is about tech-led sovereignty we are speaking of. So now let's concentrate on that aspect. So, in terms of this specific region, uh, amidst all kind of developments that are happening, as well as the seriousness that we are seeing altogether, the resource base that this region is actually committing to making itself home to propel further level of technological developments through its acquisition, through its concentration, as well as transcending it, this entire technological acquisition into various kinds of socio-economic gains. The key challenge that will always lie with this region is twofold. One, its sovereignty will always be compromised unless and until a balanced model of sovereign technological development, growth, consolidation, innovation, and its diffusion is not actually, implemented. To me, the region is far, far away from this kind of even, thinking to bring this, into the ranks of the policymakers as well as the decision makers at the helm of it altogether. One. Second is the manpower, the very important element which you have already touched upon. Same is true with the manpower. And we have been seeing very, very recently that how this hybrid model of manpower acquisition, manpower deployment has been able to, work against the interest of, many nations within the Gulf region altogether. I mean, we have just, these historical incidences which have just happened a couple of months ago. So, so what's the solution? The solution is that you need to uh, get this entire investment consolidated in terms of the sovereignty block that you want to associate with, where your infrastructure sovereignty, your data sovereignty, your regulatory, as well as your association related sovereignty on your foreign affairs front is actually aligned with the overall principles of power and sovereignty, and you are capable of holding it at your own. I mean, no other power is taking care of it. You have actually developed the sovereignty model yourself while engaging various open source as well as other arrangements altogether, and you are the sole architect of those arrangements, and you are also the sole regulator and the sole operator of those arrangements altogether. The second one, the manpower. It is actually, again, a double-edged sword for this region because they don't have enough, human resource in terms of the population numbers and the demography, and their higher education system has not yet been able to evolve to a level of maturity where they can actually house or develop the talent which is actually required to take care of this sovereignty at pretty high level of it altogether, you see. This is an extreme where they are actually operating. So yes, they have the capabilities, they have the muscles, they have the will, and they have an attitude and a posture. However, they require to sharpen their focus on the model of sovereignty that they are after, as well as fueling this sovereignty in the hands of their indigenous workforce altogether. Or if they are compelled by one way or the else, by virtue of the demography or whatever, to have a hybrid workforce model, then probably they need to introduce more level laws, regulations, and institutions where a higher level of ownership, sincerity, sensitivity is actually transcended into the workforce which they are actually deploying from other countries or from other parts of the world. So that's how it will work.
It certainly, I mean, you have highlighted a very important few points, which definitely, considering the shortage of time, which we cannot cover in the full depth within this discussion. Now, what you said about the infrastructure sovereignty and the data sovereignty and all that, and let's bring the discussion in the context of current political paradigm, which is if we see that as President Xi Jinping has said, like strongly conveyed the message of sort of like coexistence for the superpowers, and world is heading towards more sort of polarization. There's a lot of blocks have been made, which includes a lot of different context of mutual interests. As an example, BRICS is one of the example, or the Schengen and so forth. So considering the recent episode of Pakistan and KSA, a security contract, do you see, like the relevant, or in the context of our discussion, do you see a relevance of having this region developing a data sovereign bloc along with Pakistan that addresses the security aspects as well?
So you are directing this question on me, Ahmad?
To you, yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
Just
you see, I mean,
as an extension to our discussion.
all right. So, I mean, in all positive elements and the signaling which has been around, and in the most recent, events which have shaped or reshaped the existing, structure of the power structure of the world in many ways. Yes, of course. I mean, there is a high level of possibility of, bringing in this kind of data sovereignty as well as other, infrastructural sovereignty blocks. Yes, there's all kind of a possibility. However, the question remains is that what kind of joint working model you want to evolve, and whether that joint working model has the immense level of foresight built into it in terms of of the in terms of the terms of association, the overall clarity of the direction, and the consolidation of whatever has already been laid down by these nations or even by Saudi Arabia altogether, and will of engaging or will of will for executing these kind of joint arrangements. So if you ask me, so to be very honest, on Pakistan's side, I mean, this is a rejuvenated kind of a handshake between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, but historically Pakistan has always been, handling or providing support, especially to safeguard the security interests of Saudi Arabia altogether. We have a long history around that, but the kind of seriousness, capacity, and governance structure we require around this, structured effort of building a data block and bringing all together the sovereignty of the nations aligned, especially in the Muslim bloc. I see a little capability and willingness in Pakistan in terms of extending this support to a country like Saudi Arabia altogether. I mean, there could be different views, but considering the most recent experience which I have while working with various ranks within the government, so this is the gut feel that I can share. But yes, this opportunity is huge, and again, for the Islamic blocs, probably to me, this is once in a century kind of an opportunity that we are resting on, and we must take the most important advantage, or the most clear cut competitive edge out of this, and then we can certainly do a lot. Otherwise, whatever investments you are making, whatever capability you are acquiring, at the end of the day, if the satellites are not yours, if you have not abide by a multimodal model for your infrastructure and all these kind of elements, you are still vulnerable, and one intelligent algorithm which is more intelligent than yours has all the capability to trickle up and trickle down, and and destroy everything that you have built up. That's it.
Yeah.
Certainly. I mean, you haven't left any option for me to not to agree with you more, but just linking up the other aspects of our discussion, because it's been said that technology today is a non-negotiable pillar for power, and using technology to gain more regional influence or the global influence for the digital, or I would say the global superpowers in the context of digital efforts, or lots of what you see is that the US AI strategy, that how strongly the President Trump has brought, or accompanied by his delegation along with the tech giant leaders, and in the comparison with the China's digital public infrastructure, if we see Beijing and those cities with the state of the art new tech infrastructure, and the whole life cycle has been digitalized. If you a person, including whether it's a citizen, resident, or a visitor in China, he just needs to hold a mobile cell phone in his hand, and he is all connected. His surveillance has been done through the mobile. His all the services, national or the touristic services, he can acquire from the mobile and so forth. So how you see that the usage of technology as a more power gain effort in the context of current US AI strategy versus China's DPI?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Ahmad Javaid, again asking this question for me. So, what I foresee that the US AI stack is more platform centric actually. So it is driven by NVIDIA, OpenAI, AWS, Meta, okay, and Google, for example, Microsoft. So they are exporting AI through cloud APIs actually, and that's why, like in this region as well, you will see predominantly these companies are actually helping the governments to build the AI infrastructure actually, and they are more dependent on the US-led AI stack as well. But on the other hand, if you see the China's AI stack, it is more infrastructure centric. So you are very right by giving an example that, for example, if you land in China, so your mobile is going to connect you to the smart cities, to the payments, to the identity systems, okay? And they are more infrastructure centric actually. And they are driven by Huawei. So they are not actually coming slow by the restrictions, for example, on Huawei to have their phones having Android operating system, as you have seen in the previous term of President Trump. Okay, so Huawei is still having their own operating system. Okay, and the infrastructure centric revolution of the China's AI stack is actually driven by Huawei, Beidou, okay, and many of their infrastructure companies actually to provide the digital public infrastructure projects as well. You can see the 5G and 6G developments and their progress actually by China, okay, and I see this policy thing also, like the technological thing also coming as a foreign policy as well. And one more thing which I actually wanted to mention to Mr. Ghulam Shabbir Saab for his viewpoint. I really respect his viewpoint that we are nowhere actually in if we tell about the truth by looking at the advancements of the technological stacks, the AI stacks of the US, because it's a free market. Okay, people can come from outside now not more by the restrictions imposed, but of course this is a free market. Okay, and that's why they have so much talent around the US in the Silicon Valley as well. And if we look at the China, which is much more state sponsored, okay, but at the same time they are also trying to compete. But we have some efforts as well, like for example the Inspire project as well. Okay, I know this will take time, like in the next 10 years they want to train the people to have hands-on experience on the silicon chips and all that, but efforts have been started. And I'm in very much agreement to you that this is an opportunity that comes in a century actually, and now we have to capitalize on it. We have to work day and night on this to make this opportunity happen. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, certainly there is a lot to be considered while selecting, which superpower is more reliable as a long-term journey companion for any of the sovereign state at the moment, whether regardless of the technological stack layers, because starting from data as well itself, separating data with the LLM model going to be another challenge for us. But considering the market models and the penetration, I think it's still discussable. Each country has to look into its own, the national interest before engaging anyone, whether it's Huawei or OpenAI or NVIDIA. But we are heading towards no option kind of a narrow down the line passage, which needs to reconsider while acquiring such services. So we're linking that thing. I think previously you were about to add some viewpoints. Would you like to add some your viewpoint on what has been said so far?
Yes, from my side, I totally agree with Ghulam Shabbir Saab's, comments and Dr. M.M. Alam Saab, that, the foreign policy, where we stand right now, we have to really think about it. Not only our own country, Pakistan, but, even these Middle Eastern countries. Yes, there is a huge investment everywhere. They are investing, but in terms of innovations, where we stand, that we have to really think about it. So every innovation comes from these superpowers. This is the truth. If we deny it, it will be very wrong. But this is the truth that every innovation is coming right now from the West. So if we are investing, we have to invest in the innovation. Yes, infrastructure is very important. Sovereignty, everything will be based once we are innovative. So let's see how these countries they think about it. Yes, they are investing heavily on their talent. Lots of students, they are going abroad, getting lots of technical certifications in these areas. But it's still we have a lot to do, as per my understanding so far.
Exactly. Taking the your viewpoint further, Ghulam Shabir, I mean, if we look into the whole situation holistically and considering or the implications on the current geopolitical situation due to the digital divide we have in the global north and global south, um, if we apply the same challenge in our context, we Pakistan as a hub of tech talent, I would say, which is been exported, and we do have the national level of challenge of having a talent drain as well. So, do you see any possibility of engaging, you know, some stakeholders to invest our talent into these regional tech hubs so that we can be part of the same team of architecting the future tech hubs?
Thank you very much, Ahmad. Yet again, this is very important aspect of this conversation. And before I directly come down to responding this one, let me build on a little bit on what Ovais Saab has just mentioned about the innovation and the overall, ecosystem contribution. So yes, I mean this innovative thinking or innovation-led diffusion. This is basically the mindset shift that we need to inculcate not only in Pakistan but also in the MENA region altogether. So I mean, you see, I mean, there are elaborate theories which correlate the concept of innovation and overall diffusion of technological advancements in multifold manner, which is actually associated with the mindset and the thinking altogether. You see, so if we can harness that thinking a bit, so then we have every possibility to get maximum of what we have been able to invest so far in MENA region, as well as what we have at hand in Pakistan, right away from the talent availability to the researchers availability, as well as exposure of the manpower, the overall demographic dividend. You see, so and as well as the most recent defense capabilities that we have been actually showcasing, right. So yes, so this is a mindset kind of an intervention that we need to bring in within the larger region altogether, and here Pakistan can certainly support the case and vice versa. Now, this also gets us to a connecting element to the contribution of Pakistan or Pakistan's talent into the overall tech ecosystem by virtue of the capability that Pakistan possesses, as well as the opportunity that MENA region wants to build on in terms of being recognized as the next powerhouse of economic and technological growth, right? So, to my view, if we can channel it uprightly, we have every possibility to make this dream a reality, not only for the MENA region, but also for the people of Pakistan, as well as other southern Asian nations, including Bangladesh and Maldives and Bhutan and all of them all together, right? Now, let us have a review on the evolution of the overall geopolitics altogether. You see, Pakistan has been able to showcase a certain defense capability, but that capability has rested on the equipment of Chinese origin. So altogether, you have provided conduit to the Chinese telecom, to the Chinese defense, to the Chinese defense aerospace altogether to showcase its capability on the global stage, right? So you have been successfully doing it, right? Now, this same model, and China would be more than happy, I would say, if we can actually bring in the institutions in an alignment with one another, or in an alignment with the rather longer term vision of the global south, where China is certainly a key player, right? And China will certainly be requiring support for reconsolidation of its economic as well as military power in terms of seeking and maintaining a balanced posture of foreign relations with all these nations altogether. Because itna bada giant hai, so how will it, make the most of the economic gains happen in order to fuel its economy altogether? So these are the nations which are the most favorite ones, and these are the nations which will put China to even a more diligent and a more, sharpened power position in the global south altogether. Now, if we transcend this similar kind of thinking between amongst China, the southern hemisphere, as well as the MENA region, so the trajectory gets to another level of an alignment. But for that, we need to devise institutions, involvement, engagement, acquisition of talent, overall, placement of talent, the opportunity landscape, the kind of, ease of engaging the talent altogether. You see, so if these nations, I mean the MENA nations, if they can work on these particular counts, then certainly they will be able to gain the maximum benefits out of this, investment which they are raising and consolidating in order to make themselves a powerhouse for next powerhouse for the world. So yes, so this is the key. So so अगर मैं crude terms में बोलूं, so for example, if KSA is eager to maintain a posture or a position, then KSA needs to bring in the institutions as well as the regulations which provide an ease of access to KSA's market, to the talent that is residing over here in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, and in other likely nations, for example, right? So if you will keep the bar high for entry to your market, and if you will be exercising another level of protectionism, then you are talking of consolidation or concentration of power, but you are not eager to bring your investment to the economic gains in order to give you the power that you actually have been looking for. So this is the balance which these nations need to strike, and this is immensely a call of the top leadership of these two nations, as well as institution to institution or organization to organization leadership, because MENA nations, they are mature in terms of the regulations and the infrastructure as well as the institutional setup that they have. But now they need to actually open up in terms of, and they need to embrace the thought of innovative diffusion in order to get maximum out of what they have been spending and they are willing to spend. So that's what it makes actually.
Exactly, which makes a very well sense, I mean, clear sense as well, because they do have the capital, and certainly the mindset shift is massive mindset shift is going on, and they are comparatively more open as compared to the 10 years back. And they started accepting the foreign investments and foreign influence as well, and which is very beautiful said. Just linking up your discussion with my last question, which I would like to ask Dr. Alam, is that Dr. Saab, considering the GCC states, like which every state have its own 2030 vision, and in the light of that vision, every country in the GCC or MENA region will have to go through a massive technological transformation for the infrastructure per se. That includes the AI tech hubs and so forth. So, from your viewpoint, what are the emerging technology trends which basically help them drawing the lines of influence and dependency in the new Silk Road?
Thank you so much again, Mr. Ahmad, for asking this question. So, for having the hub for technological structure, I believe the main focus will be on AI, big data, cloud, and edge. And the most important thing is the quantum as well, actually. So I see in this region there are multiple efforts for quantum software. Okay, uh, not that much on the quantum hardware because there are very few companies in the world, especially in the US, that master this piece of information. But now the whole world, including this MENA region, is also realizing that they have to start investing on the software side of the quantum as well, actually. So they are aligning with the R&D centers, with incubators and accelerators and startups as well, to go for all these areas like AI, IoT, OT, okay, operational technology, uh, local cloud and sovereign cloud installations as well, okay, so that the data remains in the region as well. So these are all the areas which will be very hot and will be the main center for having any intervention or having any innovation sort of setup. Mr. Ahmed?
Right. So that basically a full set of technologies, including OT, IoT, cloud, or I would say more sort of native clouds. And so, where's any other trends you could see, like which basically can be other than technology trends as well, which they need to, which you can foresee in the coming years?
Thank you, Ahmad. Yes, from my perspective, what I can conclude on this, the security part, yeah, how to utilize AI ethically. The professionals who are having the knowledge of it, they are going to grow up. So this is one of the area where a lot of opportunities are going to like open for the individuals, because currently right now what is happening, people, they know, yes, there is an AI, but they don't know how to use AI. So it's very important, to know how to use AI ethically and securely. For example, I just want to give you an example. One of the employee of any company, he's just putting the data because he doesn't know how to use AI, right? But if he has a sense of using AI, he will be more important than any other employee in the office, right? So this is all about awareness, of course. But if you are having these knowledge, if you are having these skill sets, yes, the cybersecurity and security part is emerging as per my understanding. Yeah.
No, very beautifully. I must say that when you have encapsulated the whole stack, which Dr. Alam said, like all the technologies in one bundle, which is AI, and AI gonna link each and everything, and AI ethics or the responsible AI trend is already on, I would say, and the AI governance model adoption is, I think, picking up the pace in the region. And thank you so much for highlighting that. Ghulam Shabbir Saab, any other trend you could see, like other than could be non technology, non technical as well?
Um, I mean, while building on what Dr. Alam and Awais Sahib has just mentioned, so I think that concern or the tilt towards engaging defense tech would be a little high. And of course, varying level of importance will be actually associated with defense-related tech engagements as well as defense-related, tech arrangements that nations within this region would be looking at. Um, However, I mean, I see a fundamental, flaw when I look at the approach of most of the nations of this region to engage or to, acquire or house certain technologies as well as the certain development models that they have actually. So it is basically, to me, an acquired development philosophy altogether. And there is a little indigenous in this philosophy at the outset. So, what I mean to say is that somebody from the US or somebody from Germany will step in to this region, and they will be actually outsourcing, their development philosophy or their development, aspirations to that group or to that gentleman or that group or whatever. And then, they will start laying down from, the bigger visions to then various conduits or various arrangements of the developments altogether. Without realizing that yes, having a vision is something very good. Working on the vision is really, really something very good with the help of these tech giants and everything. But at the end of the day, it is you yourself and it is your own arrangement of, taking care of the implementation altogether. Introducing regulations, making your regulators strengthened, or abiding by the laws altogether, yes, it is good. But you see, development is altogether a different ballgame. And so if it is not done indigenously, then you see you are always on the roller coaster. I mean, so it is so,
Yeah.
so
So,
Pakistan
Shabbir, that's why just kindly allow me to interrupt you here, and that's in the correlation of what you said. And
yeah.
one very important trend which has been observed, which is basically the MENA states are going towards more nationalization, which means that they are training their own indigenous talent and bringing them into the key positions and trying to reduce the talent import.
Yeah.
So would that, in your opinion, would be impacting their own long-term strategy soon?
Yes, that will certainly, but for that they need to do one more thing, and which is their higher education reforms. They need to put in place their universities right. So that's all what I say.
Right. So thank you so much, everyone. Speaking of time factor, we already have completed our time of the session, and I would like to thank everyone who in the audience who have watched us live, and I would like to thank our industry experts who have joined us. We have discussed a very wider topic today, covering from the new Silk Road and the data, technology stacks of today, landscapes, and the future technology stack in the context of the MENA region demands and the dependencies. With this said, man, I look forward for bringing the more relevant and hot topics in the future episodes of Technovation with Ahmad Javaid. And with this thing, thank you so very much once again. Have a lovely day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. Assalamu alaikum.